Good day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Baba Shola Fateh, and I am the Executive Director of Learning is for Everybody. And I want to, in this presentation, talk about what has happened in 2025, and also talk about our strategic plan for 2026 and going forward. First, I want to thank God so much for the opportunity and the privilege to have been involved in this program, this project for the last 4 years in Ilaramoki, Ondo State. And it has been a pleasure. It has been an opportunity to grow. It's an opportunity to learn. It's been an opportunity to work with some amazing people who, in my own words, they move mountains despite very limited resources and despite a lot of challenges. And that's the NCCF, the Nigerian National Christian Corpus Fellowship, the NYC Christian Corpus Fellowship. They've been our primary partners in this work for the last 4 years. As well, I want to really acknowledge the work and the role of the Child Evangelism Fellowship in supporting a lot of this outreach in this period. So, what I want to do now is just talk about what has happened over the last 1 year and what we hope to see in 2026. So, by quarter, so these are some of the snapshots of the things that God allowed us to be able to do. So, between January and March, we're at 9 different sites in 4 different communities: Ilara, Ikogun, Igbaraoke, Akure, and we had 16 different mentors or directors who worked in those schools to do weekly outreach and educational support. And then, in terms of programs that we did, we had one. We launched a new club. That was in Ikogun in January, and we also did one entrepreneurship training where one of the core members taught the children how to make liquid soap, and that's the picture shown on the left. That was led by Sister Rachel Onyaule. And that was, these are the students, the children here looking intently as they did this hands-on activity. And then we had sent forth. We typically have those each time a new batch of core members come in, and so we had one at the time, and also it was the first anniversary of the reading club. So the reading club is a virtual community where we select a book and we read the book together. People join from literally all over the world who are interested in the book. The purpose of the club is threefold: to read books around purpose, around leadership, and around relationship. Those are the 3 things that, of course, are germane, very important things for young, mission minded people. And one unique thing, we started a new partnership with an organization in the US called Agile Brain, and they are into the mental health and wellness and coaching space. And so that's an ongoing collaboration that started in January of 2025. In the second quarter, April to July, I put July here, should be April to June, but July because the children went on break on vacation in July, so we just kind of merged that together here. And so we were in schools during that period, the same schools as before. But in terms of programs, we had community programs. The Easter program in I think about 4 or 5 locations that we had those evangelistic programs in communities and in schools within Ifedore local government. And we had one teaching children effectively training for for our volunteers. Now, this is a significant commitment. It's a significant achievement because it's really difficult to get core members to go and attend these trainings. And for our first 4 years, we only had one person trained, and it's not effective to train one person at a time. It's costly, and it doesn't just work well. And so it's been hard to get a minimum number of people that would get to go and do the training. It's a high impact training that we recommend for everybody. And so this time around, we registered, I believe, 9 people, and 3 of us completed the training. And so that was a big accomplishment. We're so grateful for that. And again, we started a new club. We started a new club. That's the Good News Club at the Elizabeth University. That was in June, and we're so grateful again for that opportunity, for God opening that door. Other things we did. So I had a site visit in June, in May and June, and we're able to have a luncheon with all our community partners, and that was amazing, to meet them and to also get ideas as to what we could do, and also have an idea of the experiences of the volunteers in the schools. We're able to visit the schools. We're able to also just have the privilege of doing some ministry with these folks, these amazing folks that have been doing a lot of the work for the last several years. In again, this is a picture of the TCE training. In the figure on the left, the gentleman in gray is Evangelist Jonathan. He's the state director of the CEF, and he was our teacher. The 3 of us there beside him are students in that course, and we went for a practicum slash outreach at CAC Urimikoya. It's on a hill somewhere in Akure. It was an amazing time reaching out to the children. And that's me on the right, doing one of my practicums at the Elizabeth University Good News Club. You are required to do a certain number of practicums to be certified, and so that was me. It was amazing, amazing training and experience. So in our third quarter, here is Bro Progress Irure, who's one of our club directors, leading a club at the Apostolic School in Ilamoki. So in this period, when the students went on break, we spent a lot of time in strategic thinking and planning. So we had a lot of meetings, several hours of meetings with all the volunteers, with the mentors and the interns, to ask ourselves who exactly is the best, who's our target audience. Because at this time we have been in like several schools, 9 schools in 5 different communities and one online community, and we were stretching ourselves very thin, and we wanted to have deeper impact, be able to disciple children, not just share the gospel and go, but be able to really form meaningful relationships that can transform lives in a sustained manner. So we started to think a lot. So we did a lot of this in June, July, and and in August, the culminating thing was we were able to define our persona. Who's the person we're targeted? And the answer is we're really targeting at the at-risk youth. In schools, by at-risk youth, these are the schools that it's children that are likely to drop out of school, children that are come from low socioeconomic status at homes in that community, which is already a rural, relatively poor community. And particularly, we realized that many of those children are not in the private schools where we have been serving in the past. So we decided we would need to go to the public schools. And so we had to now begin to consolidate to target those children in schools where they need a lot of this support. Other things we did, we acquired. One of the things we also thought about is, okay, if we only have 1 hour in within the school during the week, and a term is 13 weeks. So we only essentially have 10 hours over a whole term to engage with these children. That's not enough. That we need to be able to engage them outside. And so we came up with, from our strategic thinking, to have what we call a functional space where youth can, it's like basically a youth center where they can come, there are resources, educational resources, games, as well as opportunities to fellowship, where they can be where we can have more opportunities for mentoring, and not constrained by the time and and the setting in schools. So the setting in secondary schools, in public schools, is you have like between anywhere between from 50 to 80 children, and even if we consolidate all our mentors to go to that same class, it's a lot of work to be effective. And so we realize, we might need to have a space of our own outside where those who want more and who desire more can come to as a resource space, and hopefully be a place where it helps them stay out of trouble. Again, remember, we are targeting at risk youth here, and so we want more opportunity to minister to them. And so that was the second big thing that came out of our strategic thinking in between June and August. And other things we did, we acquired some educational materials. We have two laptops, we have some games, and all of that with the idea of beginning to equip this youth center. In the last quarter of the year, we went back to community-based outreach again. So we did Christmas party clubs. So these are clubs where we share the gospel and we have fun with the children. We had four of those, and we had one in our new youth center. So we rented a space. It's a small space, but it's a starting point, and we're very proud of all the work that went into this, and also excited about what God can do. So the image on the left is a picture of the children at the Christmas party club in the functional space. We call it the Top Youth Center on the left, and on the right is one of the Christmas party clubs in one of the schools. I believe this is Queen and Crown School. And the picture here shows Sister Tosi in black and Bro Daniel, who led, and Bro Progress, of course, is behind the camera, who led that particular Christmas party club. So we're grateful for all of these opportunities. One of the other things that this brought up is we may be collaborating with Tony Foundation. They have an orphanage there in Ilara, and as of today, we have actually gone to do a Christmas party club there, and we'll see what we'll continue to do with those children in the new year. So overall, this is kind of we. It seems like we've trended down in terms of numbers, and that's because again in May, June, where we're reaching to like over 250 children per month with the gospel or with educational programs, we began to scale down. We began to again close down a lot of the clubs where we had one, two people, because again we know that having one person in a class of 50 or 60 or is doesn't allow for effective mentorship and discipleship. And so gradually things started to go down in August and September. The children were on vacation, and things started back up in October. And now we're at 70, and we hover around that because we're in just one school. Again, these are pictures of some of the schools. The top left, I believe, is a Geoba in Akure. This one here is the Apostolic in Ilara. This one here is Future Builder, again in Ilara. This one here, I am not sure, but this one here is Anglican in Igbaraoke, and so on. So these are just pictures of those. So one of the things we did for the first time this year is we did an assessment. So by assessment, we want to see what's the impact of what we're teaching, what we're doing, the children retaining that information. And so we had this was in the Apostolic School, and based on this, a lot of the children are not doing quite as well. If you look over here, D so D to F, so that's here, so that's 17 plus 27, 29, that's 46% D to F grade. Now, let me put that in perspective. D to F grade is D to F in the British system, that's 40 and below, 40% and below. A is 70% and above, and B, I believe, is 60, and C is 50 and above. So, really, a lot of these children actually are struggling. Now, it becomes even what it this comes into more perspective if we consider that when we break the questions down into three categories. So there's the questions about the evangelistic lesson that they were learning, the Bible verse, memory verse, the questions about math, and the questions about literacy. So three different areas. They still did overall way better in the um, Bible literacy questions, and their math and English is actually quite low. And so this tells us that this is an area where we really want to begin to focus on. And as we talk about having a functional space and a resource center, it's not just about games, fun games, or video games. No, the games are personally curated by me. So I actually search out those games that I believe can be tied to the curriculum. Games that enhance literacy. So we already have math games that the children play, but we only have one math game. We have several copies of that one math game. But now I want us to be able to do other games that give children different kinds of literacy, different kinds of challenge for different levels. And so one of the things I've been collecting and doing is buying and collecting some of those games that I believe might be good ones, and also books that children can read to again enhance their literacy. So it's going to be all of these are some of the things that will be in the resource space that we talked about, because this is a real need. So we are scaling down, and we're scaling down for bigger impact, for deeper impact, for to take root. And right now we're down to just two club mentors, and this also coincided with a period where the NCCF in Ilara got fewer core members posted to Ilara overall. So we're not able to recruit as many core members to join us, and so we hope that changes in the new year, and we can begin to recruit more mentors and directors who can go to schools and support the work that we do. Um, so some of our other achievements, and this is a big achievement. It doesn't seem like a large number, but this is so. I would say we mentored five people effectively. And so when I say mentored five people, would I love to mentor more? Yes, but that's within my capacity to, in the midst of other life things. But the thing here is, when I say mentorship, it is individualized, meaning that each individual, yes, they work with us to volunteer with us in different capacities. They all come with different dreams, different trainings, different backgrounds, different faith backgrounds, even some of them different denominational backgrounds. I mean, and so in mentoring, as they join us and as we commit to mentor them, we actually are asking, what do you want to do? And so we begin essentially try to create a sub goal for them to achieve that sets them up to pursue those things that they want to do and that they want to become. And so this involves individualized, regular contact. And so when I say regular contact, I mean at least once every 2 weeks for the period of up to a year or more, where we, and even those who have finished have continued in that mentorship because they found it very helpful, and we're mentoring them around the things that they want to do. And so it's something that they find very valuable. And so, for example, Dan, who's now the the director, uh, he wants to go into academia. He also has a business sense, and part of his mentorship has been conceiving a research project, writing the research paper, and that paper will be submitted. Other things is he's in the process of launching a consultancy with the partner, with the Agile Brain partner, because again, he's been involved in that work, and so it becomes the basis of that mentorship. And because I'm in academia as well, that's a natural fit. Next is another person wants to go into vocational ministry. Now, I'm not in vocational ministry, but one of the things that he came up with uniquely in his time was he wanted to read books around the lives of different ministers that he trusted. Particularly, he picked Miles Monroe, and that's what led to the reading club. And that reading club, since November 2023, so he and I read a book together, the first book together, and then in March 2024, he started a reading club with a group of his friends and peers. And that group, over the last almost 2 years now, he has the number of people that have joined that club have been much more have been more than 100, and people have called in from Ghana, from Zimbabwe, from different places, and they call in every single week. They read the book, they come and they discuss it, and I think it's been so that has been his own that's been the basis of his own mentorship. The next one is those who are interested in career things and things we might help them with things like writing their resume and or again giving them opportunities or at least forwarding opportunities to them along their own life choices. So I find this rewarding, and it's been a great honor, privilege to be able to work with these young people at this short phase, this in this very very short period. And my hope is to actually expand that mentoring project to connect these young men and women with people in the diaspora who are mission minded and also who are where some of these young people want to get to, so that they can give them that one-on-one advice that I may not be able to give them. So even though we're scaling down and um, like being more intentional with a smaller group of people, we're not losing touch with our broader community. We are still out there in the community. And here's showing on the left our Easter program in Ikota, Easter program in Laramoki, Easter program in Igbaraoke. We still do, here we donated to one of our partner schools. I believe this is in Holad School in Ilara. And again, as well, here we donated to our partner Queen and Crown School in Ilara as well. And here is at the top right is showing a screen grab, a screenshot of the one of the sessions of the reading club, one of those days. So again, we're still engaged in the community, but in terms of our evangelistic outreach to children, we hope to get more targeted so that we can disciple to to maturity. So, what are our goals for 2026? We want to be able to support the academic and spiritual growth of our target persona. And again, that persona is at risk young children in schools who have not dropped out of school, that we can keep them in school to and also support them spiritually through programming in school and out of school at our um, resource center. And secondly, is we want to be able to impact organizations, based on what they need, not based on what we want to do, but based on what they need. So we like to. So those are our goals, and key goal number one is we want to demonstrate that there's measurable academic and behavioral benefits. Um, um, this year. We want to be able to again document that either through a research paper or other types of dissemination platforms of what works best in that community. Third is we want to organize events with community partners. Um, we don't want to we don't want to try to do everything for everybody. Now that we would have a physical presence in the community, then whoever we will work with, we can work with one on one, and that way the onus is not on us to staff and fund and drive um, activities, by ourselves. Not because we don't want to or we can't, but it's just not sustainable long term, and we have to face those facts. And finally, we might set up a new club at the orphanage, and that's in progress. Our second goal again is long-term sustainability. We have to be sustainable. And will we still apply for donations? Yes, we will. Um, Globally, yes, but more importantly, locally. Without local goodwill, it will be very difficult. And so part of our goals this year is to generate funds locally. And one of the things we want to do is to have a business that generates some funds. And so computer training, services, printing, photocopy. So that's one that kind of keeps like a little bit amount of money for everyday things going. And then hopefully that might generate enough funds that we can be able to at least donate to our community partners. Like my goal would be that we can donate at least 50,000 a year to the NCCF to support their missionary work, and to generate at least 250,000 naira that we can use to again continue to support these young people that we bring onto the outreach. And then, of course, we would like to fund and the fund the resource center, get more educational games, ship those educational games and books, and as well get equipment, raise the equipment that we need, the printers, the photocopy machines, the computers for the trainings that the children can come and use these resources. Um, so those will be our goals, and if we can do that, then um, the local community has to have some buy-in into that process. Um, Again, because that way, if people have money, or if they have their hands in the game, they're much more likely to protect and support this program going forward. Other things, our strategic partnership for mental health, we hope to, this is more in the college student space, but eventually it will get into the high school space as well, where we want to raise awareness about mental wellness in Nigeria, and particularly in youth. So this is ongoing. Some of the things, some pictures of things we did. On the left is Evangelist Jonathan, who was teaching one of the sessions of the Elizabeth University Good News Club that we started together in June, and that's him as well on the far right. You can't see him, but he's leading a session at the for the chapel staff fellowship. And bottom right is the send forth event for core members. This was in June. All of these events were in June 2025. Here we're showing some of the awardees of different, just our appreciation for some of the things that the core members have been doing. On the left, Sister Tosi in red is being awarded the Outstanding Service Award for all her work. So in this period that there has not been many core members, usually in the NCCF you have a papi who's a coordinator. He's usually a male, and the mami who's the assistant or the vice coordinator. So she was the vice coordinator, but because they've had few people being deployed there, she's had to double as essentially the coordinator and the vice coordinator for the last several months, and yet been working to was instrumental in starting the Good News Club in Elizabeth University, and so she was awarded the Outstanding Service Award, and we appreciate all her work. In the middle is Sister Victory. Sister Victory finished her TCEO on training. She started the work at Ikpogunwayo School, and in Ikpogun, amazing sister. And then on the right is Bro Dan. He was awarded the Emerging Social Innovator Award for all his work for the last 4 years that he dedicated after he graduated, finished his national service. He stayed back and has ever since been working in this community. He's not from the community, but he's been devoted to the project and served, and then he's done a lot of the innovative work that we've done. He's led a lot of those efforts locally. So other things, and again, more awards. Brodan as well finished his master's in marketing this year in October. We're so proud of his work and his industry. Again, that's Satoshi who did our passing out parade in December, finishing national service and going back home. We will miss her work in Elara, but we do wish her as well all the best. And that's yours truly. I finished the master's in ministry leadership in May, I believe. Yeah, in May. Again, these are just some of the things that God has been grateful. God has been great and allowed us to do over the last year. And one more thing. So, Bro Jude was our extended service year intern. So what's an extended service year intern? So that's somebody who served in that community but decides to continue on the work with us for an extra year. So he's an intern, he's a missionary intern, and he worked in Igbaroke. He did tremendous amount of work. He's a good heart. He worked tirelessly with us to start the clubs in Igbaroke, and yeah, so here I'm showing one of the things that he did. So one of the things so his own mentorship plan, individual mentorship plan. He wanted to go into entrepreneurship and particularly in agribusiness, and so that was like the basis of um, my mentoring sessions with him. And one of the things as a matter of fact, he did establish a business based on the award that life gave him. So we always give core members who stay back and work with us for a period of time. We give them a lump sum donation at the end. So he used that towards an agri business. But in addition, here, what I'm showing is he got an award through the NNPC Foundation through with NYC. It's called Kickstart My Business Initiative or Pudimata, and here's showing him. Actually, the picture is not shown in the picture, but he's right there. These are the things on the left are the things he won. He won a motorcycle for mobility. He won a solar panel with inverter, again to support the business idea. This is a very competitive program because it's national and it involves donations well worth in the millions. If you think about the motorcycle, the solar panels, and the inverter, and so he had to go through several rounds of competition, but he won it, and we're so proud of his work. In addition to the things he did well when he was in Igbaroke, and so again, we thank God for a lot of these things that many of us achieved directly or indirectly through us. So moving forward, we would like to continue to partner. We would like you to help us to fund our equipment drive for the space. Like volunteer, who would like to volunteer the expertise, accounting, research, education, online education, youth mentoring, youth mental health. These are areas where technocrats, people who are skilled in these areas, can really help us. And then want to sustain our social media presence to amplify this work going into 2026. This is our main goal. So our youth resource center, the top youth center. So right now we rented a shop, a store, pretty much to start off. But our goal is to have a space of our own by 2030, to have a space, a multi-compartment space that we can use for different kinds of activities, for a fellowship meeting on one side, for individual tutoring on another side, and as well as just every, game space and things like that that youth can come, utilize, and create a positive environment for them to be mentored and also to be to grow. So that's our desire over the next couple of years to raise 50 million naira to fund to build that space. Um, and so that's the goal. And please keep this in prayer. And if you want to support us, by all means, please reach out to me. I will be glad to. I'll be glad to um, chat with you about any of these ideas and how you can support us. And this is what that space might look like. So again, like a shelf of different games, educational games that children can come, take one or two, and then go and use that to, learn at home and return it, like the old video club idea, where children can come and they can read, they can play, they can have their lessons. We'll have textbooks where available for those who can afford textbooks. They can come and use those textbooks there, and at the same time, fellowship and trust the Lord to transform lives. For example, this January, we hope to start out with computer training, and we will start because people have already begun to show interest. And hopefully the Lord will help us achieve these things. I want to thank a lot of our partners, the board members of Life, the schools, the community partners, the NCCF. Thank you so much for your fellowship over the last several years. The Child Evangelism Fellowship brought Jonathan and the Ondo State crew. Thank you, and I want to thank the RCCG Living Spring Miracle Center for supporting this idea and continuing your prayers for us, particularly as well the Omojoku family, who that have been very generous to support this project, and we thank you all so much, and we pray that the Lord will give increase and blessings to all the work that you do as well. Again, thank you and thank you and thank you.